We've on hello, wonderful audience. This is your friend James. I want to tell you, you are not one of many, you are one in many. The kingdom of heaven and the kingdom of darkness, the kingdom of man, atheistic humanism, has this concept that you are actually just one of many. And the great scheme of things, one of 7.4 billion people, whether you live or die, it's really not necessary. You can be a cog in some socialist, communist thing, government where you're just a worker. They need a bridge, so you just work and they can move you around and stuff like that, move you from city to city. That actually happened in Egypt. If you read in the Bible, one of the prime ministers in Egypt actually moved people from city to city because they were free and gave up their freedom so they could get food. And so that was bad. They gave up their cattle, they gave up their land, then they gave up their freedom. But to be fluid, so inside, that's an aside, that's a political aside. That's government. You probably didn't even know that was in the Bible. But one of many is non-uniqueness. It's just, it doesn't matter if you live or die. It doesn't matter, if you don't achieve the dreams that God has for you. It doesn't matter if you want to start a restaurant at the end of the corner. Somebody else could be thinking about that. You see a corner, you're driving and you see this corner, you're thinking there could be a beautiful restaurant there. There may be 10,000 people in that city. That does not mean everybody who drives by that corner sees a beautiful restaurant there. All 9,999 people else in that city can ride by on their bikes, drive by, see that corner. That's just a corner. Just because you have the dream does not mean somebody else has the dream. As you have to do that dream. I remember the thing that this one of many makes you think that it doesn't matter whether or not you do it. One in many is different. This is how the kingdom of heaven thinks. One in many. Just like your finger, one of many members. If this finger is not present, there's a problem. But inside of just one of many, then it doesn't matter if you have your finger or not. I mean, that sounds nonsense, like when you analyze it according to the Bible. Just like a pixel. We have a 4K television in this house. You have one of many pixels. And it's like, well, it doesn't matter if one goes out with the concept one of many. It doesn't matter, whatever happens to those people. But if it's one in many pixels, if one of them pixels goes out on that television, you either want to get it fixed or get rid of the television and buy a brand new one. You're one in many. If you don't do the dream God has for you, who's going to do it? If you have a vision for your city, that does not mean everybody else has a vision for the city. You must go and do this dream. I remember Reverend Gloria Copeland was talking about, I think I want to be a doctor, and let's say you're 45 years old. I want to be a doctor. Well, if it takes, 8 years to be a doctor, how old will you be in 8 years if you don't be a doctor? You'll just be 8 years older, miserable, trying to push it off on your kids or something, or and you're just, why? Because you haven't achieved the dream that God told you to do. No one else can do the dream that God told you to do. Your thumbprint is the only print that can go on that dream. You're not one of many. Back to the main concept. You're not one of many. You're one in many. Your uniqueness, it has to be there. Every part has to be there. Every state of the United States of America has to be there in order for it to be a whole. The head can't say to the body, I don't need you. They can't say you're non-essential. Stay home, don't work. This is nonsense. Your dreams are important. There are people 10 years from now who haven't been born yet who will need something. If you're supposed to have an orphanage and they'll be an orphan, they'll be born 5 years from now, be 5 years old, and you're the only one in that community who thought about starting an orphanage. Don't do it and see what happens to those kids who are orphans. So if you have a vision, you must achieve it. I want to encourage you. You are very quintessentially important. That's what a constitutional republic that the United States is. A constitutional republic is for the actual individual. And God thinks about the individual too. When they gave blessings in the Bible, they gave it to all the children. Jacob did not just bless one person and just leave off the rest and didn't say anything good for him. God has blessings. He has dreams and aspirations for you to achieve, to bless your family, your city, your county, your state, your province. We don't have provinces in the United States of America. I was thinking about Canada. Your world, you must achieve them. I want to encourage you. So you are not. Don't play that game. Because if you play the game that you are just one of many, and that means you become inconsequential. It starts pulling energy from you. It starts making you think, well, it really doesn't matter if I'm happy as long as somebody else is happy. I've seen that nonsense on television from other countries, and one particular country in particular, where it was like, oh, I'm just, working, we're making this television show or whatever, the Inspiration House Network, we're just making this television show, and, I'm just one of many, and we just all come together and make that. That's humanistic nonsense. What it actually is that you are the camera person on this program, and if you weren't there, they won't have a camera person. Not pride, not arrogance. You have to do it. If God told you to start the restaurant in the school in that area, you have to start the restaurant in that area. You could start a restaurant in the school too. Actually, I was thinking about that if it was college. So I just want to encourage you, on behalf of the Inspiration House Network, we love you. You are not one of many. You are one in many. And if you are missing, if your dream is missing, if you are not present, we will miss you. If your dream is not present, we will miss it. How many untold dreams of people who have stepped into eternity that would have already changed this world? Leave me be.